Welcome back to Travel Explore the World. Today, I will take you to explore the tiny island nation of Tuvalu, a country with an extremely small population. It only takes about 15 minutes to go around this country. Is the life of the people here prosperous or difficult? And what prompted them to decide to digitize, bringing their country into the virtual universe? Even more amazing, the way Tuvalu makes money from its own capital has brought in hundreds of billions of dong. This is clearly a country that contains countless strange things, but is the rarest country visited by tourists in the world. Speaking of which, I am really curious about what their life is like. Let's explore through Travel Explore the World's video, 9 strange things only in Tuvalu, today to find the answer.
Welcome to Tuvalu!
Welcome to the journey to discover the tiny island nation on the world map. Tuvalu, located in the South Pacific, between Hawaii and Australia. Tuvalu is an island nation with an average elevation of less than 4 meters above sea level. The capital of this country is Funafuti, and many people often confuse Tuvalu with Vanuatu due to their similar names, and they are both island nations. However, Tuvalu really stands out with its extremely small area, only 26 square kilometers, spread over 9 separate islands, ranking 4th in the list of the smallest countries in the world. Its population is also among the smallest in the world, about 11,000 people, second only to the Vatican. Tuvalu is so small that its average width is only about 1.8 kilometers. This is the most unique feature of this island. To explore, you only need to walk, because motorbikes are not really necessary. If you use a motorbike to go from one end of the island to the other, it will take you less than 15 minutes. In fact, to explore the whole country, from every corner to the highlights, you only need 1 day. Because it is so small, houses, shops, churches and public halls are located right on the roadside. When you pass by, you can easily look inside, people cooking, repairing cars, or children playing in the yard. On the narrow roads, you can even see the sea on both sides. In the afternoon, the short roads become more crowded and narrow. With a total road length of only about 8 kilometers, Tuvalu has no industry, no army, cars are rare, and it is also the least visited island nation in the world, welcoming only about 2,000 people each year. If you want to explore Tuvalu's 9 main islands, you can rent a boat for around $250 a day, which includes fishing and sailing. However, if you are someone who cannot live without electricity or internet, Tuvalu may not be the ideal destination. Life here is full of inconveniences, from infrastructure to modern amenities. But it is worth noting that Tuvalu has not recorded a single case of COVID-19, a rare advantage in a world struggling with the pandemic. Despite its beautiful beaches and clear waters, island life is harsh. Tuvalu has no rivers or streams, and its only source of fresh water is rain and wells. The soil is porous and saline, making agriculture difficult, with coconuts, bananas, and taro being the main crops. Most food, goods, and fuel are imported. The country's main sources of income come from foreign aid, postage stamps, licensing fees for foreign fishing vessels, and local fishing and livestock. Tuvalu's tuna-rich waters, in particular, bring in about $30 million a year in licensing fees, making it the country's largest source of income. Pig farms are often built near the airport or close to the sea, where people come to feed the animals in the morning and afternoon. Although the lifestyle in Tuvalu has become somewhat westernized, modern amenities are limited. Only the capital Funafuti has reliable electricity, while other areas are sporadic. There is no official newspaper, satellite television requires a high subscription fee, and the only radio station broadcasts a short news bulletin. However, the crime rate is extremely low, and the people are friendly and open. If you are looking for a place to heal your soul, Tuvalu might be a suggestion worth considering. Tuvalu's unique way to make money, selling phone numbers and domain names to survive. Tuvalu, a small island nation with a fragile economy, has experienced many financial crises, but in times of difficulty, they have emerged with unique money-making ideas that have amazed everyone who has heard them. From 1992 to 2000, the Tuvalu government leased the international phone number, +688, easy to remember and attractive, to businesses that provide erotic phone chat services. This deal brought in more than 1.6 million United States dollars per year, a considerable sum for an island nation of only 11,000 people. However, this bold idea met with fierce opposition from the people, forcing the government to terminate the contract. But the real luck came when Tuvalu hit the jackpot with the national domain name, TV, a gold mine in the internet age. Immediately after being granted this domain name along with hundreds of other countries, such as US of the US, UK of the UK, Tuvalu attracted the attention of major media corporations. At least 5 corporations flew to the remote capital of Funafuti to negotiate. In 2000, the Tuvalu government signed a $50 million contract with VeriSign, allowing the exploitation of the TV domain name for 12 years. Thanks to that, the island nation earned at least $10 million per year, equivalent to more than 250 billion VND, just from selling the 2 letters TV. Many famous brands such as GM.TV, Liverpool.TV or Hollywood.TV were born from here. Not only Tuvalu, another territory, Anguilla, also made a lot of money from the domain name. When artificial intelligence exploded, it is true that difficulty made them think of creative ways to make money. Tuvalu's risk of evaporation when the sea swallows the land. However, behind the financial initiatives lies a grim reality. Tuvalu is facing the risk of disappearing completely. Currently, many of Tuvalu's islands are only about 10 centimeters above sea level. Some places have been submerged. Cemeteries have been eroded by the waves, forcing people to build graves right next to their houses. Hundreds of coastal houses have been abandoned because of rising waters, while thousands of other households live in rusting houses, attacked by the tide every day. Saltwater intrusion has devastated the meager fields, depleted freshwater sources, making agriculture almost impossible. As a result, Tuvalu depends on imported food, mainly cheap, fatty cuts of meat from New Zealand. This has led to skyrocketing rates of cardiovascular disease and diabetes, bringing the average life expectancy down to just 30-40 years. Waste from food aid, from plastic to metal, has piled up, turning part of the island into a giant landfill that the country has no technology or resources to handle. If sea levels continue to rise, 95% of Tuvalu is expected to be underwater by 2100. Floods, tropical storms and El Niño are making things worse. To cope, the Tuvaluan government has come up with a bold idea: digitize the entire country. They want to create a virtual Tuvalu to preserve its culture and history before the mainland disappears. Nearly a fifth of the population, about 2,000 people, have already migrated. In a striking video from the 27th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP27, in Egypt, Foreign Minister Simon Kof stood in knee-deep water and said, "We are sinking, but we are not alone." He announces plans to turn Tuvalu into the world's first digital nation. The video ends with a zoomed-out shot of a 3D graphic in the background, a hint at Tuvalu's future in cyberspace. In Tuvalu, children are taught about global warming, a term that encompasses crop failures, saltwater lakes and ever-deepening seas. A unique cultural trait is that every day at 6:45 p.m., people on the streets must come to a complete stop, until 7 p.m. to pray in accordance with Christian beliefs, similar to the ritual of standing still during the national anthem in Thailand. If you ask who fears the future the most, Tuvalu is probably at the top of the list. A tsunami could wipe out the country, and they're not alone. Small island nations like Kiribati, Marshall Islands and the Maldives are also worried. A Tuvaluan, handmade, flight. Flying to Tuvalu is an experience like no other. The island nation has only one airport, with 2 flights a week. The runway looks more like a walkway than a takeoff point. When a plane is about to land, a siren sounds and people rush to leave the area to make room. After the plane lands, the runway is immediately transformed into a public playground. Soccer and volleyball, 2 popular sports, are held here every day at 4 p.m., with children playing in circles and adults exercising. Preparations for the flight are simple, just a few people setting up warning posts, no fancy machines. The plane tickets are handwritten, from the passenger's name to the departure time. The waiting room is tiny, with just a few rows of seats. Even indoors, you can still see the planes whizzing by, a sight that can only be found in Tuvalu. Tuvalu's colorful traditional festivals. The Tuvalu Teas Festival, held every October, is the island nation's most important event. It is an occasion for people to pay tribute to their ancestors, pray for good harvests and tell local legends. The Oga, for women, and Ano, for men, dances, performed gracefully to feel music, are featured at most community events such as weddings, birthdays and festivals. The traditional dress, the teddy skirt, is adorned with colorful flower crowns, armbands and necklaces. In addition, Kava Festival in June also features the cheerful pari dance. Traditional games such as tea, similar to throwing a ball, not only improve physical fitness but also bring the community together. About 60% of the population participates in cultural activities, contributing to preserving the national identity. History and diplomatic relations of Tuvalu. The first Polynesians to arrive in Tuvalu came in the late 9th century, from 1892 to 1916. The island was a British protectorate, then a colony along with the Gilbert and Ellice Islands. In 1974, the people voted to separate. The Gilberts became independent Kiribati, while Tuvalu remained a British dependency. In 1978, Tuvalu gained independence, joining the Commonwealth as a constitutional monarchy, with the Queen as head of state, represented by the Governor-General, and the Prime Minister as head of government. In 1979, the United States and Tuvalu signed a treaty of amity and cooperation, recognizing Tuvalu's ownership of 4 islands that had belonged to the United States. By 2000, Tuvalu had become a member of the United Nations and established diplomatic relations with more than 100 countries. Australia and New Zealand are major aid partners. Australia has contributed more than $9 million, 2022, to climate change response, while New Zealand has provided more than $6 million in infrastructure and scholarships. Notably, Tuvalu is one of the few countries that recognizes Taiwan as an independent country, receives economic and medical aid, and supports Taiwan's participation in international organizations such as the WHO, a courageous stance, amid pressure from the One China policy. Sin VT by NCO TI Tuvalu. Tuvalu Kong CH Ko Thin Nin Tai TP Ma Con Let N I Sin Seng Sia Nayu Sin VTKL. Ka Su Bun Di Chai En Tren Cien Va TH Qua Da. Thich Vi Vung T Eng PNC. Ka En Min Trong Sin Ho VINC Si Gui Hien. Rua by En Hawksville. VISL Eng Tone CUCH Con. 15.00025.000 Con. On Vitro Chuan T are Eng Trong H Sin Tai By N. BMM Eng Y Trang Tai Tin. MTS Loi Fat Sang Trong Bong Ti. Hui Kung. Kua Dia. Loi Kua LNNHT Transcien. En Eng Ti 4 kilograms. Ko THM Tri Dia D Dang. En H Ang Sin BT Na Kong CHC Ao Ma Con NHNM HTM Chuan T are Ang Sia VCBOT and a D Ang Sin HCT I Tuvalu. Today's video ends here. What impressed you most about Tuvalu? Leave a comment and share. If you find it interesting, don't forget to give us a like and click subscribe to support us to create more quality content. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.